Hello once again, dear viewers. Kitty the Storyteller returns with a tale. Zed grumbled, "These are bitter crocodile eggs or crocodile babies." As I tasted the bitter gourd, I replied calmly, "Zed, for once don't lose your head and listen to me. These are neither crocodile eggs nor babies. This is a vegetable I am familiar with, known as bitter gourd on other planets. You're lucky to have it here. It offers great medicinal benefits for your overall health and skin. Let me enlighten you." I continued, undeterred by his skepticism. It regulates blood sugar, boosts immunity, aids digestion, and is excellent for your skin. If your kingdom has become too indulged, lazy, or poisoned by excessive luxury, this vegetable can balance that excess sweetness." Zed snapped, "What are you hinting at?" I didn't flinch. "I'm not hinting, I'm telling you." Zed fell silent, then muttered, "Go on, drop the sarcasm." "Well," I said, "to reduce the bitterness, marinate it with salt. I've given you a recipe book. Follow the instructions and do it yourself. Don't make me spin you on the ceiling, because, believe me, I will if you don't listen, fat boy." To my surprise, Zed didn't retaliate. The next morning, he ventured into the royal kitchen, following the recipe book's instructions carefully. He cooked the bitter gourd exactly as directed, and to my amazement, seemed quite pleased with the result. He invited me to taste it. I took a cautious bite. To my surprise, it was delicious. Zed, of all creatures, had managed to master a recipe. I noticed quietly that he had begun treating the recipe book almost like a prayer book, reading each recipe with deep concentration. Over time, the killing of crocodiles decreased. Even his people started to enjoy the vegetable and other healthy recipes within the book. After the bitter gourd episode, something shifted in Zed. No longer did he roar for no reason, though he still seemed eager to rid himself of me. I think he found me dominating. He watched me in silence. One afternoon, his goons returned, and I soon realized a beast like Zed cannot change overnight. Behind them walked a tall, theatrical sorcerer, cloaked in deep indigo velvet. His silver rings glittered, and his coal-lined eyes were sharp as knives. In his hand, he held a long crystal bottle with a narrow neck and a golden stopper. He bowed slightly to Zed. "Your Majesty," he said, "I hear you have a fairy infestation." I entered the hall just then. "Infestation?" I smiled. "That's a large word for such a small mind." The sorcerer circled me slowly, sensing something, but his ego was louder than his intuition. Without warning, he raised the bottle and began chanting. The hall darkened, winds swirled, tapestries trembled. The crystal bottle glowed violently and began pulling at my form. Zed leaned forward eagerly, watching. I felt my fairy form begin to shimmer, dissolve, scatter into particles of light. The sorcerer laughed triumphantly as the bottle sucked in the radiance. With a flourish, he cocked it. Behold, he declared, all spirits can be contained. Zed clapped once, pleased. Inside the bottle, however, there was no panic, only light, not wings, not a wand, not a fairy, a soul, a luminous orb of living consciousness pulsed within the glass. My voice echoed everywhere, all at once. You trap only forms, not essence. The bottle began to crack. Thin lines of white brilliance shot through the crystal. The sorcerer stepped back. The light intensified, filling the hall. What are you? He whispered. I am what you once were, I replied softly, before fear made you small. The bottle exploded, not outward, but inward. The suction reversed. Before the sorcerer could chant again, he was lifted off his feet, spun in midair, and drawn screaming into the very bottle he had prepared for me. Silence fell. Tiny, furious, powerless, he beat against the glass from inside. I picked up the bottle calmly and walked towards Zed. Zed stared at me, speechless. This, I said gently, swirling the bottle, is borrowed power. It fades. I uncorked it outside the castle gates. The sorcerer tumbled out into the forest and ran, not once looking back. From that day on, Zed did not shout. He simply watched in silence. Days passed. One evening, as I wandered through the castle, I entered a dim study, heavy with dust and old perfume. On a large desk lay a thick leathered bound book. I did not open it out of curiosity. I opened it because I felt sadness in the room. It was his diary. Zed, born to wealth, gold cradles, silk tutors, endless banquets, and yet born without a shadow. He wrote of standing in sunlight as a child, of other boys comparing their long outlines on the ground. Stand near me, they would say. He would. Nothing. One child had laughed. Maybe you're not real. I closed the book slowly. So that was it. When one feels invisible, one learns to dominate. When one feels incomplete, one steals. When one feels unreal, one makes others tremble. I understood him now, but understanding is not surrender. It's preparation. We stop here, dear viewers, for in the next episode, something far deeper must unfold. Meet you soon.